Health is life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Let's go.
Health matters to me.
Come on, get up, cause you tuned into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual needs.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, though. Positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream goal.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become a better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.
Health matters to me.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jackie
and Coach Patrick.
Welcome to Health Matter Live podcast this morning on Saturday morning, guys. We glad you're joining us this morning. Yep.
All right, guys. Good morning. As Jackie said, listen, we want you to join us right here every Saturday at 9 a.m. as we bring you relevant information pertaining to your health and your well-being. We'll have healthcare professionals and other professionals on the show to help us, assist us in helping you to be the best that you can be as it pertains to your health and your well-being.
Guys, you already know what to do. Head over to Facebook and Get Fit with Jackie Fitness and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Health Matters Jackie and Coach.
All right, do it now. Why wait?
So I think we already said happy birthday to
everybody.
February birthdays, and of course we just celebrated Valentine's Day. Yeah, we just celebrated Valentine's Day.
Off of Valentine's Day.
So I hope everybody went out or still going out for Valentine's Day. That's when we're celebrating love. Go out and have it. And I don't think people know that February the 13th was Galentine's Day. That's girlfriends.
Okay.
Yeah,
there we go. Another day to celebrate, right?
Women.
Another day.
Well, it's Galentine's Day. Yeah, it was on Thursday. It was Galentine's Day to all the girlfriends. So
cool.
It can be for guys too now. It can be for guys too.
All right. So happy birthday, happy anniversary to everybody that's celebrating birthdays and anniversaries in this great month of February. We're going to acknowledge our sponsors, our partners, and friends. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan. When your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street Northwest in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191, and their website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. And we'll have the honor of having Dr. Dan on the show with us on this morning. So we're looking forward to that, talking about the wellness checklist, how to complete a complete guide to a healthy year. Because we know everybody's still shifting, Jackie, into this new year.
Yes, and people are doing it a little bit different. They need some little bit more information because a lot of people out there is misguided, misled, and they're misusing information. And today we have a ton of influencers, and people are giving out information. You have influencers that have millions of followers, and they are following them. And so we need to have some relevant information from healthcare professionals. And Dr. Dan provides us that every month. I mean, solid proof, scientific proven, evidence-based information that can help you in your health and well-being. So if you already started and you have goals that you have, kind of set, tune in, come on in and join in on the conversation and just, get this wealth of knowledge.
Most definitely.
From Dr. Dan this morning.
And as we said, this is February, so we are celebrating Black History Month. Although we celebrate it throughout the year, we on purpose during the month of February highlight Black History Month. So make sure that you're sharing some type of Black history with your children, with your family, so that they know their history, that they know that the impact that Black people have made in this country. Is also American Heart Month, and this is the perfect time to raise awareness about cardiovascular disease and how we can prevent it. Heart disease remains a leading cause of death in the U.S., and prevention is the key. So celebrate, recognize those times in these months, and celebrate Black History Month, and bring awareness to American Heart Month if you have a platform to do so. All right.
Without further ado, we're going to bring on our sponsor of Health Matters, Dr. Dan Jolich from Aiken Chiropractic. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good Valentine's Day weekend and having fun and enjoying each other's company. And need to celebrate women all the time.
Yes, yes, yes.
So being nice to each other is really what's
Yeah.
important.
Yes,
I was going to also mention for the Black History Month, we have a really nice Black History Museum here in Aiken. Have you guys been there?
no, I haven't been
No,
there.
we
Yeah,
haven't. We
there's
haven't.
a museum there, so it's very nice. It's an old building, and sometimes it's closed, but some days it's open and it's free. Go and take a look. There's a lot of history around here. It's really cool. Also, I would suggest to make little trips and learn more about that kind of stuff if you're interested. We were in Beaufort, South Carolina, about a week ago on the weekend when it was 80 degrees and really nice and sunny. And we took a tour, and there's a lot to do with Black history there as well. A lot of stuff stemming from the Civil War, and a little bit later on what happened there. So I learned a lot of things. So
Yeah.
they have a new monument there to Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman
Wow, we
from
got
the
to get up
history.
there.
Yeah, they just got a new monument there, actually, just recently, and so it's pretty neat. And it talks about her accomplishments, and she was really accomplished person. And
Oh, yeah.
one of the things she did, she was a nurse during the Civil War in Beaufort. She
Mhm.
worked in one of the hospitals there.
Wow.
Also, she led a raid. At one point, the Union made a raid into the neighboring plantations, and they basically freed over 800 people and
Yes,
brought them back with them, which
yes,
was pretty amazing. She led the raid. I mean, so
wow.
that's
Wow.
incredible. And another thing I learned is in the Beaufort Harbor, during the war, there were a lot of mines laid out in the harbor, so the Union ships couldn't go through. And they said that the Union Navy, for 2 years, they couldn't figure out where those mines were. So she got upset with that, and she decided to figure it out. So she was on a rowboat with somebody in the harbor there in Beaufort area, and she did it every day or every night. I don't know what time she did it, but every day for 2 months. And she mapped up all of those mines in the harbor. And so what the Union Navy couldn't do for 2 years, she did in 2 months by herself.
Wow.
Uh, can you
Wow.
imagine? Can you imagine the rowing boats in the harbor during the war, and you are around there, and you are looking for mines that can explode at any time and kill you? And they said she, poked every single mine with a stick, and she put them on the map and marked them and all that kind of stuff. Like, wow, unbelievable.
That's awesome.
So
Amazing.
what people did back then or
Yeah.
in these past wars is just unbelievable. We need to
That's
celebrate those people.
Yeah.
amazing.
And
But
Harriet Tubman, she could have easily, once she got her freedom, just was happy with that. But she went back to get others, so she made a great sacrifice. Yeah.
Right.
Yep, she did.
Awesome.
I also heard another quick story. Then we're going to talk about health. But
Mhm.
as far as she is concerned, it's pretty cool. After the end of the war, she had some positions. They gave her a uniform and everything. So she shows up in a uniform wearing pants. And back then, women did not wear pants. They
Right.
only wore dresses. And the people were kind of like stunned, like, why is she wearing pants? And she said, well, the purpose of the uniform is to make all of us look the same. So if you're wearing pants, I'm going to wear pants. So she wore pants. I mean, how cool is that? So
Wow.
lots
She's
of
a
cool
brave woman.
stuff. One of these days, we ought to talk about some of these historical things that happen
Oh yeah.
in the state of South Carolina in general, because that's where I live. So I kind of like to research all that stuff. But interesting stuff has happened in the past. So you just need to kind of search it out and
Right.
know
Do
about
your
it.
research and look
Yeah.
at that.
But what we can do to thank these people that have, sacrificed themselves so we can have a good life today, we can stay healthy. So the whole purpose of our conversation is to raise awareness and give people some, good information they can use. And we're going to talk about the wellness checklist. It could be a complete guide to a healthy year. So we're a little limited on time in here, what we can talk about, but we do have some slides that I also, provided. We're going to, go through them real quick, and we'll talk about what that is. So, what is really, wellness, and what is really health and healthcare?
Mhm.
Well, health is not the mere absence of disease. Being healthy doesn't mean you good because you don't have any disease.
Right.
You know, being healthy and being well means you need to live life at its fullest and
Right.
actually, you know, be able to, you know, function at the highest level that you can in your life. Healthcare is not just for the sick; it is for everybody at all the time. You know, I would like to say that, you know, it's very easy to put off visits to a doctor when you're feeling good. But here's the thought that people might want to think about. What would be the best time to prioritize to your health? Would it be good to, you know, think about your health when you're feeling fine? Or do you want to wait till you're sick with something and then go, you know, to a doctor? So, you know, what I'm trying to say is it's better not to wait till you get sick. It's better to take proactive steps so you don't get sick, you know.
Preventive.
That would
Yeah.
be the way. So that's really the whole point of wellness is to stay well.
Right.
Wellness means being well and functioning at the highest level as you can. And in order to do that, we got to take certain steps in our life. And it's not that simple, you know. A lot of people, since the new year has started not that long ago, a lot of people probably have like new resolutions, you know. But it's not just about being healthy. It's not just about dropping a few pounds or maybe joining the gym or something. You really need to think about it holistically. And holistically means whole. You think of your body as a whole.
Right.
So all of that is a part of the picture, building the muscle, nurturing emotional resilience, connecting socially with people, tackling financial stress. It's all part of the picture. We have a lot of
Right.
stresses in our life. And look at the financial stress right now, and not to mention, you know, psychological. So, you know, there's things we need to do in order to be healthy. So I was going to go through a little slides if you have them. Yep. Talk about this checklist. So this first slide is what you should do yearly and biannually in general. So these are some healthcare checks a person should do once a year. So I'm just going to go through them really quickly. So annual checkup will be like your physical exam, maybe doing some blood work. We've done those when we were kids. When we were kids and they made us, you know, go and get, you know, physical exams or whatever. The reason why they did that is also to kind of foster some, you know, good and start a good, you know, way of living healthy and have develop good habits. So we should, you know, continue with those habits when we get to be adults. The only difference is when we're kids, they kind of make you do it. You got to do it. When you're an adult, nobody makes you do it. It's your own responsibility. So no one holds your hand, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You should probably do it even more. So what you should do annually, do a physical exam, maybe look at the blood work. Maybe you got to look at your skin. A lot of incidents of skin cancer and tumors, so you got to watch that, especially down south. You know, so that's annual. Eye exam. Hey, how about your vision? Is your vision good? You know, and then for men and women, there are different things. Well, women exam plus mammogram, and they should start it around the age of 40. Sometimes even earlier if they're at a high risk for some reason, you know, they have certain categories. And then for men, there's prostate exam, which is not fun, but you got to do it. And that's kind of in the 40s as well when that should be started. And then biannually, you should do dental visits. Actually, I go 4 times a year for my dental cleaning because my dentist says, okay, you create more deposits in your teeth or something like that, and you should do it, you know, 4 times for cleaning instead of twice. That's not fast enough. So I do it, you know. You know, there's two different things here. There's things you need for your health to function properly, and the other thing is what's paid or not paid or covered by insurance. I don't really care about insurance. I just want to do the best I can for myself, you know. So,
Amen.
you know,
That's good,
yeah,
Dr.
instead of
Dan.
eating at McDonald's or something, maybe you should spend a little money on the copay or something and do some things that are really worth doing. So that's the first slide. So let's
And
go into the second.
let me
Uh-huh.
interject right quick, Dr. Dan, on this slide,
Mhm.
because this is an area right here that a lot of people ignore. You know, they don't get those
Yes.
yearly and monthly or biannual exams. And, you know,
Yep.
some things you won't know about your health unless you get those routine exams. And that's part of
Yes.
what's going to help you have that preventive care instead of always being in a sick care mode.
That's the best thing is prevention and the early detection. You know, I have patients that, when they come to us as new patient, and they have problems, they have, I don't know, back pain or something. I always say, well, would you mind if I take a couple of pictures of that part of your body that you're complaining about? Because I need to know more about it, and I need to make sure I rule out some really bad things so I'm actually able to do the treatment. Sometimes people don't want to do it because they're afraid it's a lot of money, and it's not. It's not. But I do have to look at it. So, the reason why we take those pictures is to check for bad things. And I do sometimes find people that have tumors and things of that nature that they have no clue they had, and other things. And I point it out to them. And some things I do, but there's a lot of things I don't treat, and I have to send them to appropriate, professional. I would not know to send them if I didn't see it. So, you need to go and do those things. Now, the next slide is something people can do themselves. I don't really have time to go into actually explaining how to do all this in the amount of time we have, but there are self exams that men and women need to do. Obviously, for women, it's the breast self-examination. You're looking for lumps, you're looking for nodules, for something that feels out of the ordinary, something hard. Your doctor should have, showed you this. And if you didn't know how to do it, you should go and ask and let them show you so you understand how that works. Because, if you do a mammogram once a year, you might get something going on way before the mammogram shows it. So you really need to know how to do this way before that, because you might have to speed things up and seek professional help a lot earlier. So women need to do this, and that's kind of like, I would say almost every week we kind of check with some things, but at least
Right, I agree.
once a month, and see if there's anything you feel there. Of course, for men is a testicular problem because of testicular cancer and all that. So you got to figure out how to do that as well. Again, the doctors can show you these things. I'm sure there's also YouTube videos that show how to do that also. So, we have so much information today. You can figure out how to do this, but it's not difficult. It doesn't hurt, and it should be done regularly. And the whole point of this conversation is to point out things that we should be doing. So if you don't do these things regularly, you're missing out. You need to do something, because you don't want to get, surprised one day. It's the worst thing when people go, man, I went to a doctor, I got all this cancer, I had no idea. Well, you don't have any idea because you didn't check yourself every so often. It's better to start
Right.
and make sure you do it. And, the earlier they detect things, the better prognosis will be, for the treatment.
Yeah.
And then part of this is also the skin check. You simply look at your skin. You look at your arms, you look at the mirror, you look at your face. I would say for the skin, we have a lot of sun here in the summer and throughout the year. It's not really the heat of the sun, it's the UV that you don't really see that can cause problems. So, I cringe when I see people go outside and they don't really cover themselves. Whenever I go outside, I cover myself. I mean, this is the way I dress indoors, but if I was going outside, let's say I'm riding my motorcycle for hours, I have a shirt that, long sleeve shirt that covers me. And then I have little gloves. And then I have a mask around my face and sunglasses and, helmet, or you can have a hat that gives you a shade. All of that you should do to cover yourself from the exposure to the sun, so you don't get, cancer and stuff. And, people use those skin lotions and, sunblocks. I would say be careful with those things. Those are chemicals, and some of them are really bad chemicals in those substances, and they get absorbed through your skin. So, you might end up having a, reaction to that stuff. Better is just to cover yourself with clothes, and there's all kinds of clothes out there that allows perspiration, so the air goes through it and it feels good. You can even dump them in a little bit of water, and then they, make you feel cooler in the summertime as well. So, they sell them everywhere. Walmart has them, even Lowe's and Home Depot, because you see those workers outside, they have those masks and stuff that, the evaporative, cooling effect. So I use the same thing when I'm riding a motorcycle. So cover yourself from the sun. Let's go to the next slide.
Okay, real quick, Dr. Dan, and I just want to echo something that you said real quick, and just kind of echo because I want people to know how important these first two slides were that you went over about self exams and annual exams. Like Dr. Dan said, Early detection is the best protection. The earlier you detect something, the more options you give the physicians to be able to help you at an
Yeah.
early stage. So those two steps are
Yeah.
very important.
One of the problems in our country is, we have a lot of our healthcare system is very expensive. We spend a lot of money on healthcare, and as a whole population, we are not very healthy. And because we fall really behind in early detection and maintenance and all this other stuff you're supposed to do. We don't do enough education to
Mhm.
have people actually realize what they should do, and then we spend more money later on treating all of these problems that
That's
could have
right.
been, prevented, or they can also be earlier detected and it will cost a lot less money. So don't let it go too far.
Right.
So please think about it. If you don't remember last time you had a physical, well, maybe it's time for one. So you got to check all that. The next slide is interesting. It's something that what I read should be done weekly. So you need to move. So one of those things is fitness. I don't have it on me right now, but I have a watch that I use when I work and when I exercise, and it measures my steps. So you need to be moving, okay? So my goal every day is to have 10,000 steps. It seems like a lot, but it really isn't. It's the whole day, it's all cumulative. If you can do 10,000, do something that's achievable. But they say you need to be moving 3 to 5 times a week, meaning actually exercising. So it depends on your age category and all that. But when you're younger, of course, you can do more. When you are, a senior person, you don't need to be going to the gym and hurting yourself. Just walking. Walking is fine. Just
Yes, it
walk
is.
around your property or walk around your house if it's hot outside, or just go to the park and do something. But you need to do something all the time. So our bodies are designed to move. They're not designed to sit around. And when you're sitting around a lot, your body will fall apart because that's not what it's designed to do. You need to be moving. Part of this weekly wellness habits with fitness and motion is chiropractic care. That's kind of where we fit in as professional chiropractors. Some of this literature recommends weekly visits, but it doesn't have to be weekly. It just depends on what works for you. It's good to have some, chiropractic works with pain relief, but it's also for increasing mobility, prevention of, joint problems and everything, and just overall fitness. So I have a lot of patients they take advantage of the Paro Wellness program that we have. So it's not expensive. It comes out to just under $20 a visit, or per treatment, or per adjustment, or whatever you want to call it.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
the key is to do something consistently. If you do something for a little bit and then you quit, you're really not going to get the best benefit from there. Our bodies need maintenance. You have to do things all the time. You never really stop until we're gone. Every day you got to wash your hands. Every day you got to brush your teeth. I mean, multiple times a day, really. You got to sleep every day. You got to eat every day. You got to drink water throughout the day. You got to move every day. There's things we should be doing constantly. Chiropractic care is proven to be very helpful in that, in that point. And people that, make that as part of their lifestyle, they seem to be in much better shape and they're aging more gracefully. So, that's where we fit in that whole wellness model. There's also a third thing on this slide. It talks about social connection, and that's extremely important too.
Yes,
We
it
are
is.
social. Yeah, we're social beings.
Mhm, mhm.
Spend time with friends and family. Do something that is good for your nerves and good for your, emotional well-being. So, there's that too. There's emotional stress, and we being social, we like to talk to other people. We like to discuss things that maybe bother us with other people that have similar points of view as we do, and that makes us feel better. That's makes you feel more content. So, social connection is really, really good. Don't be a loner. Don't be somebody who just sits home and, watches TV all day long. Go out there and meet people. If you move to this area and you're from somewhere else, you don't know anybody, there's a lot of different social clubs you can join. Before I was real busy, I did for years. I belonged to the Kiwanis Club. That's a service club. I also did a Rotary Club. I did BNI Club. I did other things. I mean, it was just fun. It was just fun, doing that and socializing. And when I'm doing this, broadcast and podcast with you guys, this is fun for me. I enjoy this. I don't think of this as work. This is just,
We enjoy you
relating
too,
stuff.
Dr.
Yeah,
Dan.
it's just fun. It's just this is what makes me
Always
excited
something
about what I
new
do.
and different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're helping people. You're helping people.
And I do love helping people. I really do. I mean,
Yes.
this is really what I sign up for. I mean, I could never be like a banker or something or investor that just deals with money. That would be boring to me. I want to, I mean, I have to have money to live, but I don't live to make money. I live to do this kind of stuff, and hopefully that produces me and my family, which so far has been working out. But I enjoy this. I
Yes.
enjoy talking
And
to
I
people, meeting people.
if I could say, yeah, if I could say something, Dr. Dan,
Yeah,
we see your passion. We've been knowing you for a long
yeah,
time, and so we see that our platform see that you have many patients from our recommendation that comes
yeah.
to you right now. Um,
Well,
yes,
all I
and
can say is I love helping people. I love doing it. I love when they're doing well, and then I get involved with their lives. They tell me all kinds of stuff. It's like family. And I love that. And I was brought up that way.
That's
But
that connection.
there's a lot
yeah,
of easier ways
connect
to
with
make
the
a living than
community.
what I do.
Yeah. And you connect with the community. Most doctors don't come out
Oh
of their
yeah.
office. They stay right there, but you literally connect with the community, and that's important.
You're supposed to do that. I don't know if you know, but the word doctor came from Latin. You know what the word doctor actually means in Latin? Doctor means a teacher. Okay, that's
Wow.
what doctor means if you Google it. So, doctors are supposed to teach others what they know, to help others have better lives. Of course, doctors today specialize in different, arena, and that's fine. I choose chiropractic. I like that. But there's other people that do other things. My dad is 81 now. He was a surgeon, and he shared a lot of knowledge about what he knew to people around him, applied to what he does. So, I'm trying to share things that I've learned because that I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. That's my whole goal in life, and that's why I chose this. Like I said, there's a lot of easiest way to make money. This is not the easiest way, and it doesn't pay the most either. But I enjoy it and I'm comfortable. But you
Awesome.
gotta share what you learn. Now the next slide, there's a little bit more smaller text. I'll read a little bit. There's this is kind of daily stuff. I just mentioned. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of stuff we need to be doing pretty much daily. And this kind of summarizes that. So I'm going to go from the top left to the right. It says hygiene. I just mentioned we need to brush and wash and care of your body, and that's daily. I mean, people in the past, the society in general in the past, like I'm talking, hundreds of years ago, they did not do that. And look, we had all this pandemic, so black plague and cholera and typhus,
Yeah.
all of that stuff has plagued the yellow fever. All of that has plagued, the humanity in the past because we didn't understand this. We didn't know that, if we clean ourselves, we just, greatly reduce the possibility of getting sick. We didn't know that. So, now we know better and teach your kids, teach everybody to, do all these things regularly. I mean, you're supposed to brush your teeth more than once a day, really. I mean, you should do it almost like after every meal. But not everybody does that. But
Right.
when you can, you do it. I don't just brush my teeth. I also use that water pick thing, and they're not expensive. I mean, I bought one that's like portable, and that one is like 17 bucks at Walmart. Just the other day I bought it. So it's cheap. And I have the big one that's like you plug it in. That was like, I don't know, 40 bucks maybe. So they're not that expensive. But you can't get everywhere with a toothbrush. You have to do more stuff, and even use a different toothbrush. I use the one that vibrates because it's like a little better. So we have technology that's helping us, but if you don't do it, you don't benefit from that technology. So
That's
you got to do that. So hygiene is very important. Next one, in no particular order, but every day, hydration. And I talk about this
Right.
quite a few times on this podcast. Down here, because we live down south, it's a high humidity, and we are all chronically dehydrated. We don't even know it, but we are because we perspire through our skin, so we lose water through our skin that we don't even realize because the humidity is so high here in the summertime. So when you're inside in air conditioning, not as bad. You go outside, you're losing water. So you're losing water pretty much faster than you can drink it.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
they say on this slide you should aim for 64 ounces of water every day, and that comes out to basically 8 glasses of water a day. So you drink a glass of water every couple of hours, basically. They said for our southeast area, this might be like a generic kind of thing, but for our southeast area, you should drink even more than that because you, especially if you're going outside and you're spending time outside when it's really hot and humid, you got to hydrate quite a bit. There's also a little formula, and they say you're supposed to drink half your body weight in ounces. Half your body weight. So if somebody weighs 160 pounds, that means 80 ounces of water a day. So that's even more than what they said for 8 glasses. That would be more than 8 glasses. But hydration, and people don't realize that. Now, here's another thing I would mention on this slide. Sometimes we confuse, thirst for hunger. So people eat and maybe they don't need to eat. They should be drinking water. So, my suggestion is first go get a glass of water and you'll eat less. We are overweight in this state. Everybody's like a little bigger than they should be. Most people are. And that's not good, that's lack of all of these things. But, maybe instead of eating, sometimes go and drink, a big glass of water. It might fill up your stomach a little bit. You may not need to eat as much.
And don't have to worry about calories.
Water. Exactly. Now, vitamins and supplements, that's a big topic. We can actually spend time on that, just a whole podcast. Why is that good? What are the good ones? What are the bad ones? What's the research say? There's some contradictory things. But the reason why they say that, this is true. Our food is not the same as it was, even 50 years ago. Our food is relatively depleted from nutrients. All the processed food is mostly just sugar and, empty calories. So, they don't have enough vitamins and supplements because they lose all that during the processing, So, you got to counteract that. So, I don't like taking supplements personally, but I try to eat fresh veggies and fruit every day. This morning before I went to work, I had an apple. That was my breakfast. I had an apple, and yesterday I had a banana. So then I came back, and after lunch I had some grapes. So you vary your stuff, but you should think about, do you get enough vitamins and supplements? Our body doesn't synthesize everything we need to stay alive. We have to, ingest that. So, think about it. And that's the whole purpose of getting the physical and blood work. And maybe the blood work would tell you, hey, maybe you are, lacking in certain things, and maybe you do need to take some supplements for that, So that's a whole story, but you got to look into that and see if you're taking enough of that. The next slide on the bottom is about movement. We talked about you need to move. He says at least 20 minutes of exercise a day, but that's not a lot. I mean, and the thing about it is cumulative. I mean, so you can go out there and go for a walk and, go rest a little bit or something, then you go do something else. Everything adds on in the amount of days. So I would say 20 minutes of exercise is really easy to do. I'm sure most people can do a lot more than that, but you got to move. Don't sit around. Don't sit in front of the TV for 5-6 hours a day. Don't do that. Go out there and do something. Do what's good for you. Don't avoid doing things that are detrimental to your health. And sitting around is detrimental to our health. We're not designed to sit around.
Right. Right.
People in the past, and not even that far in the past, we were more agrarian community in the past. All these cities and stuff that developed over time. But in the past we had a different lifestyle, and our grandparents certainly had a different lifestyle than we do today. We have it too good. We got too many conveniences. We have cars. We have all that. They didn't have all that. They had to be more mobile. They had to, walk more just to, do the normal life and chores. And if you ever, my grandparents lived on a farm. They had animals. They had, land they have to cultivate. That was a lot of work. So they had to do all of that stuff. That to them was normal. But they were a lot thinner than we are today, because we have it easier. So we have to move, that's. Now the next one talks about stress relief. That's really good. We have a lot of stresses. Just because life is in a lot of ways easier than it was before doesn't mean we don't have stresses. We have new stresses that our grandparents didn't have. And so there's all kinds of stresses. There's emotional stress. There's financial stress. All kinds of, it's not just physical. There's chemical stresses. There's all kinds of stresses. So you need to do some kind of relaxation, and there are techniques for that. Rest. sleep, relax,
Yeah.
do whatever, listen to the music. There's also meditation. If you don't know how to meditate, there's videos on YouTube and then tell you how. Deep breathing, just kind of laying down and closing your mind and cleaning up your mind. So stress relief is extremely important. That's why I like to ride a motorcycle. I like to go out on the trip and ride a little bit, and I just clear my mind. I'm in the moment. I enjoy myself. To me, that's a stress reliever. Somebody else did something else, but to me, that's it. So, you got to do what makes sense to you.
That's
And then,
good.
of course, the mental health is a really big one. And, you got to preserve your mental health. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of that is lacking in our society when you see all these school shootings and all these bad things. You got to wonder how long that person that decided to go start shooting in the school had mental problems that, were suppressed and didn't really, society didn't really help him or help her. And he really was repressed there for a long time. So, you don't just start doing that out of a blue. Something caused something to do that for years, and it just kind of manifests in something extreme like that. But mental health is a huge issue, and I don't think we put enough emphasis on mental health. Mental health is very important. So those are the quick slides, and then let's do the next one because we're probably getting close to running out of time. But I want to kind of go through at least the next slide as well. And so that one actually talks about the health beyond physical health. So we talked a lot of stuff that can be termed, physical health, like exercising and even chiropractic care and all that. But there's three types of other stuff we need to watch. So one of them was the mental health, another one is intellectual health, and the third one will be financial health. I
Right.
didn't make this up. This was all, research based.
Yes.
So, mental health is, again, you got to manage your stress. And then sometimes you got to seek therapy if needed. And it doesn't mean you got to pay for it. There's all kinds of support there. I mean, there are groups on internet. There's groups on internet that you can join where you can express yourself and other people feel the same as you. So there's power in numbers, and you can get some social support from people that are going through the same thing you are going through. So please, you gotta manage the stress levels, and you gotta control that, and you gotta manage your mental health. You gotta find a way to do it. Number two, intellectual health. So my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, they're in the 80s now, and they live here in Aiken, and they are sharp as anything. Their mind is very, very good because for a long time they've been challenging their brain by reading or learning something or writing something. You have to exercise your brain, and there's a lot of studies to show that the incidence of Alzheimer's or Parkinson's is way less, or like the dementia, it's way less for people that exercise their brain than people that just sit around and watch TV or they just play on their cell phone.
That's
Do
that's
something
good.
deeper than just sitting around and staring at something. You got
Right.
to do something better than that. So challenge yourself. There's all kinds. It's free. This is free. There's like Sudoku or something. There's all kind. Do whatever you like, but something that makes you think, something that uses your brain, whatever that is. Maybe pick a hobby. Maybe go do some clay pottery. Go figure out how to make clay pottery. I mean, I don't know, whatever you like. See, that's the thing. Not everybody likes the same stuff, so you have to
Yeah.
kind of
Learn
figure out what
something
works for you
different every day.
Mhm.
every day. I like learning what I do in my chosen career. So I'm always learning something, which is interesting to me. But also, skills. I build skills. When I'm treating people in my office. I mean, to me, it's like a second nature. I don't even think of it. I can kind of figure out certain things and do what I'm doing while I'm talking about something else, and I'm just doing it because I'm in the moment. I'm in the Zen, and I can feel what I'm doing. So I've been doing it for so long that it's like a second nature, like riding a bicycle. I don't even think about it.
That's good.
Same thing with things like since I like to ride motorcycles, I refer to that again. That takes skill, and I like it because I feel like I'm getting more and more skillful in that. And keeps me safer, keeps me more alert. And I don't know, I feel like I'm more in tune with my environment when I'm doing that. And then the third one, which is becoming more and more of an issue, is financial health.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's not even get started on where we heading as a country and
Oh
all the
no.
stuff that's been changing, and the new government and everything. They're doing a lot of stuff, and I'm concerned. I don't know what's going on. Everybody should be concerned, and hopefully things will work out for the better. I'm always an optimist, but some things I see makes me a little scared. So you need to be financially healthy. I read some stuff. These are statistics, and they are scary as it gets. I mean, majority of Americans right now have like very little savings, and you're supposed to put some money aside as an emergency fund. So what is that? The emergency fund should be something you put aside that you can pay your bills and live off of for at least 2 or 3 months. If something doesn't work out, you have at least some money to live for a while until you figure some stuff out. They say like majority of us don't have that. They don't have anything. And that's manifesting through things. They say a lot of Americans are actually living from credit cards and they're maxing them out and they're using them just to pay for food and rent and stuff like that. That's not supposed to be on credit cards and things of that nature. So it's really, really scary. And, if a person is kind of owing a lot, there's a lot of debt, they need to get out of that. You cannot be really truly healthy and happy if you're in the debt. You need to have some kind of a way of getting out. Now, I can talk about a whole episode of just financial health, but
No.
you got to stay on top of everything. Stay on top of your budgeting, your savings, your debt management, all of that, and you never know what future brings. But all I keep hearing is with these changes in our country and financial and everything, they say the person that's going to come out on top is the one that has no debt or has very little debt. And so many people are in debt today or they live from, paycheck to paycheck. Don't be like those. You got to save money. I think young people today, they make money, but everything's expensive. But then there's more things to spend money on that our grandparents didn't
They
have.
spit it right away.
Right.
Everybody has cell phones, and you got to have a cell phone today. You got to have a good plan with all these minutes and all this texting and all that stuff. That's not really a necessity, but everybody needs to have it. Then, you got to have a Netflix. You got to have streaming. You got to do this. You got to do that. Is that really necessary? When I was a kid, we had an antenna, and TV was free. You catch it through the antenna.
Right.
But now you got to have streaming services. Then you have to pay for cable. Then you have to pay for internet. Then you got to pay for all this. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't have, or our grandparents didn't have before. And, I think in some ways the life was easier when it was simpler, Now there's too many things trying to get money from you. And you need to spend the money wisely. You have to, make a budget for yourself and try to really, do what's right. Spend money on healthy things that make your life better and make you healthier, not just for the entertainment purposes, okay? And I would also argue that you'll be much better mental health if you don't watch the news too much. I mean, it's terrible. It's all manipulations. There's some of them pull one side, the other ones pull the other side, and you really don't know what's really happening. You just
what's what? Yeah, you just don't know what's what.
and that's by design. They want us confused, so we would, vote certain way, or we would be, move certain way. And there's so many ways to influence us these days, and these corporations and people in power are using every single way there is out there. So the only way to win that is not to play at all. Just don't pay attention to it. And look at the local scale. Look at what you're doing with your own life, and what's going to happen on a macro plan? There's nothing I can do about that. But on the local, what I do in my own life, I can influence that pretty good. So I'm trying to make sure I'm mentally happy and I'm happy with my own life. If you're not happy with your own life, how are you going to help other people? You got to take care of your number one first, which is you. Once you take care of yourself, you can maybe take care of other people. If you don't, if you are slacking on your own, you're not good to anybody. You're not good to anybody else, right? So
and
that's
it's
what we
never
got to
too
do.
late to start. It's never too late to start. Some people think it's too
No.
late, but it's never too late to start.
Yeah,
Especially
start
financially.
somewhere.
Save what you can, do what you can,
Yeah.
and until you can get better. And because
That's
all
it.
of that stuff drains your stress. If your finances are lacking, then
Yeah.
you're going to be stressing about some things. So
Yeah.
and all
And
of that
it's
stuff.
all part of the overall wellness. All of this is part of the overall wellness and the overall health. You know, you may not think about it because it's not physical health, but
Right.
it's affecting you emotionally. And, you know, that also translates in the physical well being. Your
Most
body would translate your emotions and it would change the way
There
it
you
runs
go.
based on
Yeah,
your emotions.
That's
So
good.
we
right.
talked about it, I think, once before, but I'm not going to get into that now because we're probably out of time. But I just
Oh,
hope
that's
people have some idea of what they need to be doing, you know?
That's good, Dr. Dan. Those slides that you went over was very good. That one you went over where
yeah.
you talked about the, you know, the hydration and the
Oh, yeah.
hygiene and stuff like that stuff is very important. I think when we went through COVID, we really seen how important it was for hygiene, washing your hands, you know, things of that
Hmm.
nature. You know, even dealing with stress and the mental part being, you know, quarantined and locked up, can't do this and can't do
Hmm.
that. So we were really challenged in those areas doing COVID and
Very stressful,
yeah.
extremely stressful time. I'm glad it's kind of over, I think,
Right.
but it can happen again. And you know, I don't think I ever got COVID. I didn't have any symptoms. I mean, I did get vaccinated eventually when they came out, but you know, for a long time, I just washed my hands like crazy. I did what I could. You know, it was
Yeah.
all your hygiene.
Yeah.
And you know, if you eat properly, if you exercise, and if you stay healthy, I mean, your body will fight all these things. Your immune system will be strong enough to fight it on its own, and
Mhm.
that's really the key. You know, if you open the door to these organisms to come and attack you, you'll be sick. But
Free
if you live
radicals.
out,
Yes.
exactly. We can talk about it the whole show one
I
time
know
just
it,
about
right?
that. But
So,
yeah,
Doctor, yeah,
so
we're at
yeah.
that point. So, whatever you
Yep.
know, your final words to the listening audience, and then we're
I
gonna.
would say I hope this helps. I hope you get some ideas if you're watching this show and see if you value yourself and see if you're doing the best you can for yourself because really no one's going to do it for you. We all have to be responsible for ourselves and choose the right thing. You know, choose exercise over, McDonald's. Choose going out in a park and breathing fresh air over smoking cigarettes. Stuff like that. Make the right choice. Certain things will ruin your health and certain things will elevate your health. And I hope this kind of helps you. This is all scientific stuff. It's based on research and this is what works. And, try to, and like you said, it's never too late to start. So hopefully this could be somebody will look at this and go, oh, I'm doing great. This reaffirms what you're already doing. But if you're not doing all these things, then it's a wake up call, and
Right.
it's never too late to do it.
That's right.
All right.
Well, all right, Doctor Dan. It was good having you
Yeah.
on today, talking about the wellness checklist and moving forward,
Yeah.
being healthier as we move through the year. And we're gonna see you next month.
All right. I'm glad he kind of brought that up
Awesome.
because we used to talk about that. So
Mhm.
I'm glad he was you brought it up. So we
Yeah.
got it out and we had slides, so that made it even better. So yeah,
And
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
next time we do the podcast next month, I'm hoping to bring another a guest, very interesting
Awesome.
person. He's been my patient for a while, but he goes to Peru and he can tell you about his experiences, what he's done. He likes to help people as well. I mean, he's a interesting, very interesting person.
All
So
right.
he said he would like to come, but we'll see if we can make it
All right.
happen. So
Awesome.
that'll be cool. Try to mix it up a little
All right,
bit.
Doctor
All
Dan.
right.
So we'll see you next
Same
month.
time. See you next
Yeah.
month. Take
Thank
care.
you, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye-bye.
All right, Doctor Dan in the
Yes,
house.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
The checklist,
A
and
lot of
it's very
information.
important. Very important that we do put these prevented measures in place.
Mhm.
Going to the dental, going to the doctor, you can't diagnose yourself. You got to go do your blood work. But there's so many people out there don't have insurance.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of,
They're
health equity.
unable to
Yeah.
go to the doctor. They're
Right.
unable to get these put these preventive measures in place. So
Mhm.
some people, can only eat what they have.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so many variables and
It is.
things and
It is.
factors. And like you're saying, and everything is moving in different directions. And you got to trust God.
Mhm.
And God, He told us these things. Some these things will happen and not be surprised. But you got to trust Him at His word and His promise, and remind Him of His word.
Right.
He
He's
said.
still on the throne.
He's still
He's still on the throne.
either
Yeah.
he's Lord or not, and he
And he's
takes
Lord. Yeah.
and he is Lord. We already know he's
Yeah.
Lord, and
So
so
he's on the throne.
he's obligated to take care of
Yeah.
us.
So
So
we just trust him. You
we
can't
trust
trust
him.
man. Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're gonna be all right.
yeah. Amen.
Everything's gonna work in your favor. Everything's
Amen.
gonna work together for your good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to Health Matters on this morning. We want you to like our Facebook page at Get Fit with Jackie Fitness and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Health Matters Jackie and Coach.
Guys, remember, we're here to help you to become a better you, to be the best you that you can be. We like to leave you with 3 John 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Guys, you have a healthy and blessed and wonderful, safe day.
Health is life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Yeah, let's go.
Health matters to me.
Come on, get up, cause you tuned into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual needs.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, though positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream goals.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become the better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.
Health matters.